Jennifer Shields from the Worship Lifestyle School. It's invited to come and share with Marilyn and the team about worship as a lifestyle.
Unless we discover the awesomeness of God in our private worship life, when we come together corporately, we will have nothing to bring.
Regaining Wonder, discovering the awesomeness of God. This is an event that I was really passionate and excited about, because actually I find that as a worship ministry, it's all very well telling people that you need to do this, you need to do that. Worship's really important. They know it, like everybody knows this. We know it's important. The real thing that we need to get across is just who we're worshipping. I find that once people know why we're doing it and who it's for, like who it's really for, like who God is, this awesome supreme being that we don't even deserve to know, we don't even deserve to come this close to, and yet He's opened up that gate and allowed us that opportunity to come in to Him, like everything else will fall into place.
The one who called you.
Many years ago, this is 2002, I remember Pastor Wade Rose said, church starts after the service finish. During the week you're reading and stuff like that. And I think the deep relationship that we have with God will bless us and He will magnify His name, and things will start to change in the church. People will change, unconverted will come in and feel the presence of God and be saved.
This is the truth. You are my desire.
I started running the Worship Lifestyle School. Actually, it's about 13 years ago. But I started off going to a psalmody course. So I went to a psalmody course. I was a worship leader. I felt I needed some help. And I went to the psalmody course thinking that it would teach me how to sing. Only to know that it was teaching me about the life of the worshiper. The worship lifestyle is for the body and not just for the worship team.
We can't just turn up and give our cuts, our second-hand worship to this awesome God. It requires us to put real thought, real effort, real passion, everything that we have. We have to worship Him with our whole being, and that has to go into our worship ministry.
I was born to worship. I am in my call, I am in my life, this is my life really. I love it.
Whether we're leading the worship, it has to be from excellence, a place of excellence. Whether we're just singing in the team, it's a place of excellence. Playing, excellence. PA, excellence. Like, it all has to come into it. And I find that rather than just going on and on and on about why we worship, why it's important, let's talk about who we're worshiping.
So when you hear me say minister today, if you are the one responsible on ensuring that the toilets are clean, you minister unto the Lord and unto the people. If you are called to cook the food, you are ministering unto the Lord and then unto the people. I also want to qualify something. When I say worship ministry, I mean the PA gentlemen.
That's right.
I mean the musicians.
Yes.
The flag dancers. The singers, all of us are ministers together.
We have a worship school called Worship Lifestyle School. We go to different churches, we go all over, we go nationally, internationally, and take the message that worship must be a lifestyle. The school is filled with people from all different courses. So they've come on the courses, love the courses, and wanted to come on board to help the school. So the school, we have about 15 of us from all different churches serving to teach. So we have teachers, we have those who do hospitality, we have those who do so many things.
I was playing drums in the worship team and then led the cajon workshop in the afternoon. The churches that don't have a drummer or a drum set, the cajon is like a good alternative, like a small wooden box that you play with your hands, percussion instrument. So I was just giving people a little heads up on how to play it and how to apply it in church music. top of my head, I don't know many churches that well of ours that have a drummer. I know there's a couple, but there's quite a few without. So, and people are definitely interested in percussion and stuff. So, there's no reason, and they're quite cheap as well, so the church can afford it. So, a lot of people are interested in music and ministry, but beforehand, there's not really been like an official channel to sort of push people down. So I think this is very helpful. So it gives them something to come towards, learn, take back to their churches, gives them like reason to try and practice and try and do better. I think it went down quite well. People were smiling, enjoying it. And I think people definitely learned something as well, the way it was delivered, and made it quite easier to get a hold of.
Ministers need to be aware, the ministers to come on board and support. It's not just the praise and worship team, it's for the whole church to change and to come with a mindset shift. It's not to come to want to be full of the Holy Spirit and be happy and go home happy. It is a mindset to come to wherever we are, in our bedroom, whatever, we are honouring and exalting the name of God.
Generally, we're being received well. People seem excited about the possibilities of this ministry. They seem to be very much behind it and in support of it. It's just hard to get them to really understand it at this moment in time, and we're still working things out ourselves. It's a learning process, and we're all going to grow together. So communication is a difficult thing. I think most worship teams, they come together every week, but then during the week, that's it. They don't see each other, they don't talk, they don't plan, they just turn up and sing. And actually, it's really important that as a team that you really get to know each other, you bond, that you grow together, like you're working together, one common purpose, one goal. Once that's in place, everything else will just happen. Structure is important. People need to establish a structure. If they don't have leaders already, there need to be leaders in place, but they need to be working with the pastors. So we need the pastors to be on board as well, to be leading from the front, really, by example.
So I've been involved in praise and worship for around 13 years. I was tallying it up this week and I was thinking, wow, 13 years. I can be honest and say to you that the truth of me being a part of the praise and worship team has probably been 3 years. So some of us might have been in experiences where we are part of the worship team because there's a gap that needs to be filled. We're part of the worship team because we've got a good voice, we can hold a tune, people like to hear us sing. Or we're part of the worship team because we want something to do in the church, we want to feel used, we want to give something to God. It took me a while to understand the seriousness of what I was actually doing and what I was putting myself forward for. So I've gone from just singing in the team for those reasons to actually realising that this is a call on my life. Before we had the music and worship ministry launch, it was a difficult time for me. I was becoming quite frustrated with the way worship was being received, the way I was doing worship, how I was feeling whilst I was worshipping, and what I'd go home with. And I felt like I was just really frustrated. I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. So I got to a point where I actually said, I'm going to have a little break for a few weeks from church and then see how I feel. This is why I say you can't run from a calling. Only 4 weeks was I able to not be in church, 4 weeks, and no one had to beg me to come back, no one said anything to me. I came back to church because I realised that I needed to be doing something. And God said to me, quite clearly, He said, until you've done all you can for the ministry, you can't give up on it. And I didn't feel comfortable when I had that message, so I thought, oh gosh, I think I've done as much as I can, but deep down I knew I hadn't done all that I can. What I really wanted to do was help others back me and come along with me, but I realised that I was supposed to be in that lead position. So when I came to the music and worship ministry launch, it was like God had used them to actually reinforce everything that I'd been thinking. This is what we need to do, this is what God wants from us. And I was so excited that within a week and a half, I contacted all the team, all the people that are interested in worship, said we have to have a meeting and we have to open up this booklet the handbook and get into it and understand what it's saying. You took it away when they had the launch and you didn't open it from that point on. It's really good to sit down with your team, go through each role, go through the vision that they set for it, and just see how it will help your team. Once you've got structure in your team, the rest of the church come on board.
If they don't have leaders already, there need to be leaders in place, but they need to be working with the pastors. So we need the pastors to be on board as well, to be leading from the front, really, by example.
For a long time, even though, I had life and, my husband, my children, I felt that, wow, I had life until when God called me and said, no, there's greater for you. You were born to worship. To worship me, to serve me in this way. And so now I found the purpose for living. And and so, yes, I go anywhere, whatever God asks me to do, I just do. I love the Lord.
Every church has been given the handbook. It's not just Gloucester that have kind of got into it, that have read it, that are taking something from it, but it's for everybody. We put a lot of thought and effort into it, and it's not just for our benefit, it's for everybody's benefit, so that we can all grow together. We need to be on the same page. We need everybody to know what they need to do at all times, regardless of whether up in Manchester, whether they're down in London, because when we come together to worship, there needs to be no discrepancies, no questions. Everybody knows how it goes, so we need everybody to get behind it, really, and just to run with it.
Big thank you to Sister Jennifer Shields, for your husband as well.
Yes.